And I think I got that right. Yes. Welcome, everybody, to Fun in the Country Basement. I am Chris Riley. I'm on the YouTubes. I'm also on the Twitters. Today, I've got some stuff to fix because Earth is next weekend. It's going to be amazing, glorious, all of these things. But before we get into that, I'm going to give it to Glenn and let him tell you about himself.
Well, I was born a relatively small child. Hey everybody, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D, and welcome to this week's Fun in the Country Basement. I don't really have anything going on. We're going to talk about these awesome giveaways that I have over here for Earth. Otherwise, I just want to talk about Earth, and I can be found pretty much everywhere at Fun King 3D. So, and that's you, Walter.
Oh, that's me?
That's you.
Oh, hey everybody! I'm Walter, Country 3D. I'm sorry, I am in a food fog. It was homecoming at church, and I don't know if y'all go to little churches, but that means dinner on the ground. And in the South, that means lots and lots of fried food and gravy. So I am sitting here, my eyes are really heavy. And anyway, you can find me everywhere at Country 3D, and I cannot wait until Thursday till I see my good buddy Chris at the airport, and we hop in a car and head to Bel Air. And then, Glenn, you said you're leaving out Wednesday afternoon?
No, Thursday
morning.
Very, very early in the morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday.
So you should be there very, very late Thursday.
Yeah. Well, we'll be there relatively at a decent time if we don't stop to eat or get gas.
Yeah, but you got kids and a wife. Yeah, you'll be there late Thursday. All right, that was it. Chris, it's you, buddy.
Yeah, no, as we've been doing lately, we haven't been running through the chat, but there's a lot of wonderful people here. I'm sure we will say hi as we go through this 2 hours. So I've had some interesting things happen. So I got the Zesty Nimble working on the Ender 3, but after I did the first sprint, the extruder driver blew up. So there's that. And I got a new extruder, a Bondtech, to go on the Monoprice Ultimate for high temp printing since I melted the last one.
Bondtech? Bondtech? Why don't you tell us a little about that?
Well, Bondtech, the good company, they did not sponsor this extruder, but I'm sure
they did mine.
Yes, that's true. We'll get into that as I take it apart. This is actually specifically designed for that machine, so it's going to be somewhat interesting. But yeah, I'd like to get some of that stuff done today, hopefully. And again, this week is going to be real interesting. I don't leave for the airport very early on Thursday, but I think I get there around 3 o'clock or something like that. So it'll be good.
Around what time?
I think I want to say the flight out is 11:30, and I get there like 3 o'clock East Coast time, maybe somewhere in there. I don't remember. I have to look it up.
Oh, I thought you got there earlier than that.
Walter thought you had to sit around the airport. Now it's the other way around.
No, I thought he was only like an hour after me. I'll look mine up, Chris. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I could have swore you were like an hour after me.
Bennett wants to know, what time does Earth start on Friday? Does anybody know what time they're going to let us in? It's usually all day for setup, isn't it? I didn't get there until like 6 o'clock on Friday last year.
Yeah, I didn't get there till Saturday last year, so I have no clue.
So, and who's got the inside info on what's going on with Printed Solid on Friday?
They have a schedule on their website, and I was going to look that up at some point. Might as well do it now.
Yeah, I tried to find it and couldn't. I didn't put in much time to it, though. It's probably like right on the main page. And
it is.
Upcoming events, that'd be a good place for it.
Yeah, but they don't have the pre-Earth stuff. I know there's something happening Friday afternoon, I want to say.
Yeah, they have a post-Earth thing on Monday. Did it get moved to Monday?
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, that's why I was coming in a day early.
Right.
Because we're leaving Monday morning.
They have something on their calendar for post-Earth, but they don't have anything. I thought there was going to be something Friday that maybe Dave will pop in here and tell us all about it.
I could have sworn somebody, Carl Schoenman said they moved it from Friday to Saturday. But that's the whole thing was it was supposed to be Thursday evening, remember, to begin with. And then they moved it to Friday. That's why we were coming in on Thursday. And then they moved it to Friday, and we're like, okay, well, we'll be there a day early. And now it's on Saturday. And I will let you know that if it's Saturday at 8:00, I will be holed up in the hotel room for about 3 hours.
Are they sponsoring the E3D sponsored it last year, didn't they? The eating and meeting and
and that may be, but I thought we were supposed to go to Printed Solid for something.
That's what I thought too. I thought that was I might go to Printed Solid on Friday regardless. Of course, they're not going to be there, are they? They're going to be setting up.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe Dave will come in, but that was my plan on why. That's why I decided to leave Thursday instead of, because I was going to drive up on Friday, but I can't change it now. So,
yep.
And Chris, you were correct on your flight time. You do get there around, I think it's 3:00.
Okay.
Because I get there at like 2:30. I think you get there at like 3:40. I have to wait for like an hour or so for you to get there.
Gotcha.
Bennett setup is on Friday. The doors open on Saturday. So
right.
Yeah,
Inside Mine and Matt said set up Friday 4 to 9.
Yep.
Public gets in at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Excellent.
Yeah, somebody was talking about, I don't remember, yeah, I'll talk to you about that after the show. I do want to tell everybody that's here, I apologize, but I will not be streaming on Tuesday. My wife informed me last night that the fall concert for my daughter's band is Tuesday. I'm already missing the marching competition next weekend. So I am not missing the fall concert to stream on Tuesday. Sorry about that.
No dedication.
I know, right?
See, now this is how communication goes. So Fun in the Country Basement as a unit is the three of us. So you can imagine, how things get, sorted between the three of us, and it's usually not well organized. But Matt just said registered exhibitors should have gotten an email. Well, we might have.
And it probably went to Walter, and he read the subject of the email. But
hey, listen, I forwarded you everything except the last email I got like day before yesterday.
Nobody forwarded me anything until Chris did.
That's me. I sent you the emails. Don't make me go look them up. I really hope this print sticks. I'll be upset if it don't.
I'm going to mess up Patrick's last name, but Patrick Ugorkic said, "Well, Walter's video is clear for a change."
I know, right? I did learn something.
What'd you learn?
About how to use the video card and that type of thing. And I also reset my modem before I joined y'all today.
Shane said, welcome to Kuntry. Throw people under the bus in the basement.
It is so freaking crazy because right now my output for my video that you're seeing is 400 kilobits per second.
Okay.
That's what's going out of my network right now. It's not even like a megabit. It's 400 kilobits. And apparently it's clear according to them.
Yep.
It's pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did a stream the other day and it was at 720p. I mean, straight up 720p. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
amazing what a little hardware will do, huh?
Yeah. Well, and here's the cool thing though. Check this out. Since the video cards that he sent me didn't work properly, right? Because I tried the one that kept rebooting my machine. I even tried to just play a game with it and it would crash like 15 minutes into the game or 15, 20 minutes, whatever. It wouldn't do benchmarks at all. One of them just won't even let my computer boot. You plug it in and it says, it don't even turn on.
Wow.
So I took the GT760 that I forgot his name. Anyway, I told them his name. The guy that sent it to me, I took that GTX 760 and put it in, and then I also took the RX 570 and put it in, and I'm using the RX 570 only for OBS, nothing else.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm using the NVIDIA card for everything, all my monitors and all that. The GPU 0, which is the Radeon RX 570 over here, is at 17% processing. So it is processing all of the out video for the stream.
Nice.
And my other one is at 5%. So
Yeah,
I'm really happy with that.
Chris Galato's asking about the arc on this Nimble. I don't know. You tell me. I'm not sure what would be too tight on that.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like a Speedo cable, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that
It should be fine right up until the point you kink it.
right up to the point you kink it.
Yeah, it's actually just a square shaft cable in there. I mean, it's nothing, super out of the ordinary. It does seem to work though. I mean, you can take your retraction down to almost nothing.
Wow.
It's just fun to say. Zesty nimble. Zesty.
Now where does your filament feed in at though?
It right in the top of the so the extruder, the old extruder would just set right on top of the motor. Well, you just plug your cable drive in there, and then you run it over to the hot end, and on the other end of that cable is the feeder. So it's got an extruder gear and a bird's mouth right there. So it just sets on top of the hot end.
Okay. So it's basically just a direct drive, just like a direct drive motor without the motor.
Yeah. With remote direct drive, I think is the term they use.
Remote direct drive?
Yeah.
So it's direct drive without the weight of the motor hanging on the...
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little deal.
Yeah, I can imagine. I did see it running at Murph. I just didn't pay a lot of attention. Either that or I forgot. I've slept since then.
Well, it's funny that you get to reading the directions. So so the gears are a lot smaller. So you turn up the step rate real high. It's like 2,600 something to equal the same amount as your usual extruder would be. But then they tell you in the guide to turn your VREF way down. Because if it's trying too hard to force that cable, it will cause it to skip in the opposite way. It will cause it to shudder. So, but it does. If you turn it down to like 300, it runs fine.
Huh?
It seems like almost no torque at all, but it runs real fast. So it's kind of an interesting deal.
Yeah, that's pretty neat because it's basically a Speedo cable.
Yeah.
For a speedometer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That they have repurposed to drive a gear that sits on your hot end.
Is it metal? Like, is it a metal springy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
probably
actually
what it is then.
cable.
Judging by the length of it, it's like the old cruise control cable.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a big long part number on it. If you probably look that up.
What's the part number?
Esden Air Brake, SAE, is what it says on it.
Esden?
ESDAN, Air Brake, SAE.
Air brake.
Bennett, the place that Earth is hosted is a basketball stadium. So it's huge. It's huge. All the bleachers are rolled in, and it's the whole floor.
They don't make the cable, they make the hose. The tube they make the tube that it's in.
Gotcha.
3D Jimmy wants to know if you can change the length on a Zesty Nimble cable.
You can buy them in different lengths, but I don't see why, because it's just a square shaft cable. I don't see why you couldn't.
Is the whole thing square?
Yeah.
Oh, see, Speedo cables are round and the ends are square.
Well, that I haven't pulled it out of the sleeve, and that might be the case
pull
here.
it out.
Yeah.
That means you'd have to take it off.
That sounds like a good idea.
But I think it is, Glenn. I think it's a round cable with the square ends.
Scott Ladine said gymnasium size.
I actually asked them. I said, "Is this like a Speedo cable?" And they're like, "Yeah," but they said it's something more tightly wound or something because the Speedo cable gave more flex than they needed on the reverse. So it was something about the winding or something like that was different because when you back up the other cable, it would actually unwind after a while.
Huh.
Now watch, Chris is going to break his Zesty Nimble, and then he's going to blame us for it.
Yeah.
Hey, science.
Break it in the name of science.
All right.
3D Jimmy said, hold on, folks. Chris is going to whip it out.
Family friendly. There's your space. Don't forget about FKB Bingo.
I posted a link just a few
Excellent.
moments ago. So far, I only have one square.
It didn't really help me much.
Probably not. You may not be able to do it that way. You'd have to take both ends off to pull the housing. Oh, Tony Ryan says it has a counterwound core, which told me a lot. That means it's
One
counterwound.
One is wound clockwise, one is wound counterclockwise.
Right. That's what I would imagine.
Anti-clockwise for you on the other side of the pond.
I'm totally going to break this if I take it apart, so I'm not going to.
So you're not going to get to fix what you were working on when you started?
Well, if I keep going on this project, yes, I will. I won't get anything done.
Hey, Paul, my wife's doing well. Thank you for asking. Jay Griffith says, question for all three of you. Do you think they'll ever bring out a 3D printer that you can stop and change a printing job halfway through to do another print job? So like pause the job that you're working on, print something else, and then put that original job back in. They kind of do make that printer. It's called buy two. own more than one. I think the problem with that is when it comes off the bed, when it cools down and it's off the bed, you're kind of trashed. You'd never get it back in the same spot.
You're kind of toast at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if the bed came off, like a flex plate or whatever, you're never going to get it back on exactly where it was.
Right.
Yeah, but if you could jog the head too, right? And have an interface that would show you on the model where you're jogging to and then reset it, you could get it closer.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about fractions of a millimeter before it isn't right.
Well, put on your little headset with your 40 pairs of glasses.
With my extra glasses like these ones here.
With your extra vision.
And then
Extra vision. Trademark.
Then we'll go ahead and put these ones on here too. Now, if I'm wearing 3, is that still a bingo square?
Right?
I don't know what ones these are.
Listen, with enough engineering, it could be done with lasers, but
I'm sure some kind of built-in scanner system or
right. Put a LiDAR on it and go, okay, this is what I got.
Microscope-based crosshair alignment. Apparently, Scott's going to just write that right into the firmware.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm kind of like Glenn Hogue, though. Why would you want to do that? That just means that you need to buy another printer.
That means you need to own more than one, right?
Right. I mean,
If we were organized kind of guys and we had all these great ideas and somebody wrote them down, but I just had an awesome idea. We should have prepared like a questionnaire for Earth, and that would be one of my questions. How many of you people only own one 3D printer? I think it'd be hard to find a guy that only owned one.
There was a time when I only owned one.
Yeah, but it's usually not a very long stint of time.
Well, oddly enough, that length of time was 1 week. Because I bought my Prusa, but it was a 9-week back order, and a week later I ordered my ANET A8. So technically, as soon as you order it, you own it. So there was only a week in between there, but I didn't own more than one.
That you only owned one?
Well,
Go ahead.
I only had one for, I don't know, like 9 months probably when I bought my first one.
That's a long time to go with just one.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know anybody that did 3D printing, at that time. Even at like getting on YouTube or whatever, I'd watch Tom's videos if I needed something, and that was it. I wasn't really, I didn't know a lot of people that did it.
I remember back having, the A8. It was still stock mostly at that point, and I didn't want to print anything that took more than about 4 hours in case I wanted to print something else. And that was my mentality. I didn't want to print anything that took too long because I may need to print something different.
Mine was the same way until I started printing a frame for that one, and then I'm like, okay, you're down for 10 days, buddy.
Yeah,
you're done. You're not mine. And I just couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get it back up and running.
Paul Cumber wants to know, how much does it cost to have a YouTube channel? It doesn't actually cost anything to have a YouTube channel.
That's a lie. Stop right there.
No,
because regardless, you had to take time to set it up, so it cost you money.
No, as soon as you have a YouTube account, you have a YouTube channel.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But you had to pay for internet or the phone or something or the gas to get to the library. Something.
Not getting that piggy. Where the cost
you had to pay something
when you start to buy the equipment and the stuff to do projects and time.
I will tell you this though. To me, really and truthfully, I mean, unless you're going to go into shooting 4K videos and stuff, it costs more in time than it does anything else.
Oh yeah.
I like the fact that he went straight to gas to the library.
Right. Well, because I knew Glenn was going to be like, well, you could go to the library. They got computers. And then you could say, well, you could ride your bike and it doesn't cost you any gas. Yeah, but you got to eat. You got to have energy to get there.
What if you're going to walk and it's right across the street from you?
You still got to have that energy to food or you ain't getting out of bed. Or if you eat like I did at church a while ago, you just won't get out of bed anyway. You say,
yeah,
nope.
What if people are bringing you your food for free?
You still had to spend the energy.
Shane said, okay, Grandpa, it's 2019. Not a lot of people use dial-up anymore.
Hey, I still have a rotary phone. Shut up.
I have two rotary phones.
I only got one, and it's the one that we used when we were kids. It hangs on the wall, and it's got a 40-foot cable hanging off the bottom of it.
I have the old black with the receiver that you pick up, and I thought about wiring them up, putting one in the house and one in the garage, and when you pick one up, the other one rings.
Yeah. That's actually, believe it or not, that's where mine is at. It's actually out in one of the outbuildings that was there whenever we bought our house, and it's hanging on the wall in there, and I think that's what they used it for, so that when he was out there, the phone would ring. He could answer the phone in the shed.
Yeah. Because
that was back before telemarketing and all that other crap, remember? Right, if the phone rang, it was either one, on your party line, or two, somebody was trying to get in touch with you for something.
Right.
For something.
Most likely somebody you actually wanted to talk to.
Right. Or at least somebody you knew.
3DCNC, back up in the chat, said, hi from Athens and thanks for the videos. You were very welcome. 3D is CNC. I didn't want to miss you.
But back to his question too about YouTube. Yes, it does cost a little bit, but it doesn't cost a lot. You can you can use your phone. If you already have a cell phone, you can use that to create your videos and upload your videos.
Yep.
So as far as that goes, it costs you production value wise, like me. And I told the guys before this, I'm using my Snowball right now. But when I get back from Earth, I'm buying a mixing board, a little small mixing board, so that I can get my sound correct, because I can't just afford to keep buying different microphones and all this other stuff, because like the last one I bought was $45 and it was a piece of junk.
Yeah, well, I have that $500 set that is causing me problems.
So that's what I mean. So, I mean, it's just, I'm going to get, if it ain't nothing but a little $50 mixing board, that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah, I think that's about what mine costs, and it's pretty decent. So
right.
Adam in 3D asked me, what board does my AM8 have now? It is still currently running on the factory ANET board.
that come from the country.
That's right. It did. That's the one that came from you. Yeah.
And that was my second one that I never put in. Or no, I put it in for like a week, I think. I put Marlin on it. Didn't it have Marlin on it when you got it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Marlin running Marlin. It's not running ANET firmware, but
No, 1.9.
Yeah, I got it, put Marlin on it, and then I didn't use it. I changed over to the Mini Rambo.
Yeah, I don't know about that Marlin guy. You know, that Marlin stuff. That guy is kind of
Never know what that guy's
Dude,
doing.
never know what that guy's doing.
I have to say that I watched a video the other day, or day before yesterday, and I just had to see. And it was about controller boards. And that the best one out there was the RepRap firmware Duet Wi-Fi. And that, you know, Marlin was too hard to configure, and that RepRap was so much easier than Marlin. And it, you know, it was just, Marlin was just open source software, so it wasn't as good as RepRap.
I wish you had a button that
I mean, seriously, if you watch the whole video, it was like an infomercial for Duet 3D. And don't get me wrong, their friggin' Duet Wi-Fi is fantastic. It's friggin' crazy. And now they're coming out with the 3. What's that?
It's just a fanboy video.
But now they're coming out with the 3, which is just, oh God,
Right.
board. But it was like somebody accused me of when I got the Fouet doing an infomercial for the Fouet. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it was. And I apologize for it. But that's what his was for the Duet. I was like, okay, whatever. Never took into consideration, because he was comparing it with Marlin and 8-bit boards to a Duet Wi-Fi. And I'm like, and somebody even called him out in the comments and said, hey, you're comparing apples and oranges. I mean, that's just not even a good comparison.
Yep.
Scott Latine says Marlin is a different animal. And by the way, y'all, those of you that don't know, Scott is in here. Oh, and you're right, Scott. RepRap firmware is pretty awesome, but they are different.
Yeah, everything's got its place. I mean, there's obviously a need for all of them, and we use them, you know.
3D is CNC and said, if Marlin didn't exist, we'd be printing in the sand.
3D Maker Kid said to all of us, if you guys have empty spools, I assume you do, bring them to my table at Murph. But unfortunately, Bennett, these two guys are flying, so they're not likely going to bring you some spools. I want to bring you all my empty spools, but Xander says I have to charge you for them. We had a discussion at the table, and he's like, we can sell Bennett the spools. I'm like, I'm not going to sell Bennett my empty spools. And he's like, but we can make some money. I'm like, I'm just going to give them to him. If there's room in the car. I don't have that many. I gave a bunch of them to IC3D last at Murph. So,
and I don't know how to pronounce this lady's name, but Belen Hedrick said, I'm waiting for my Prusa to arrive. It should arrive in about 2 to 3 days. I have seen what?
I didn't know that's a woman.
Because she says down below there, Jay Griffiths, I'm a lady.
Oh.
But it said, I've seen the Chris video like 1 or 10,000 times to do the IKEA enclosure.
Yep. That's like one of the top videos for some reason.
Yay! She said I pronounced it very well.
Excellent. David Legal said he set up a rearm board by watching the tutorial. Awesome. I'm glad that was hopeful. Somebody said something else and I probably missed it. Thoughts about TH3D Easy firmware website? I don't know anything about it, unfortunately.
Puppy Ron, we're leaving at like 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday.
Scott Latine said that he loves reading the RepRap firmware because it's a nice, clean place to visit. And for anybody that codes, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but their configuration file isn't near as interesting as Marlin's.
What's that?
their configuration file isn't near as interesting as the Marlin one.
No, but I mean, really and truthfully, if you wanted to, I don't know, if you were pointing somebody and saying, okay, this is the easiest way for you to get into setting up your printer, Marlin's a little more difficult than Rep firmware to set up. It is.
But you mean using the configuration tool or just setting it up?
No, I mean just using not just using the configuration tool. I'm talking about just going down through actually updating your firmware settings.
Yeah, not having to use
not having to recompile, not having to use the Arduino IDE or VS Code as somebody put in their video. That guy over there, right up there, did a really good video on VS Code if you want to watch it. It's kind of long-winded, and he doesn't half know what he's talking about, but he did it.
I just shoot for 50%. So
hey, I compiled my last one in Visual Studio, so I got you.
There you go.
Jay Griffith said I could call him John if I like. It's not that I don't like. I will forget.
Yeah, that's pretty notorious around here. Being bad.
I mean, really, I get on here and they have to remind me half the time what their names are, and they're on the screen.
It's actually Zork 5.
Yeah,
sweet. Zork 5. Gray Beard is here. Hello. All right. So Project 1 is pretty much failed. So now on to Project 2.
Wait, what was Project 1?
Just because I can't leave anything alone, I wanted to make sure that driver was 100% bad, and it is. So
it's 100% dead, huh?
Well, then that project wasn't a failure. You accomplished what you set out to do.
I'm not going to fix it. I just wanted to confirm that it needed to be fixed.
You had made that tweet about, if anybody had an Ender 3 board laying around. I'm thinking, I got one laying around, but you can't have it.
Well, and I could go steal something, from something else, easy enough. But I can't bear to do it.
Listen, Chris, I want to see an upgrade from an Ender 3 to a Duet Wi-Fi 3.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I want to see.
That could be fun.
There'd be a lot of people that would want to see that, probably.
I know, right? Hey, I promise you. Hey, talk to Duet when we're at Earth and say, hey, man, can I get one of those Duet Wi-Fi 3s so I can put it on an Ender?
That guy's head would fall off.
And then walk over to BMG and say, hey, they gave me a Duet 3. You got a BMG extruder I can stick on there too?
Yeah. I gotta get a hold of my Hermes first.
Then you could go to Bruce and go, hey man, I need a Mark 52 to go on that thing.
No, you have to do like Zach, and you have to go table to table going, I really like that.
I really like that.
Yeah, but I don't have like
stuff.
I don't have 1% of the cool that Zach does. So.
Ham Rice Larry came in and said he thought about putting a Duet on his A8, but it cost more than the whole printer.
That's what happened when I held the Mosquito in my hand and then looked at the Ender 3. I went, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Sergio said he will soon have an Ender 3 board if you need it.
Cool.
Pretty sure he's replacing his board with a better one.
Yeah, there's a handful of people that reached out. And by the way, if you were one of those people, you're awesome, because I think like 6 people said, yeah, I'll send you one. And that was really good. But I found somebody that is coming to Earth that's going to bring the board, so we don't even have to mess with shipping. So that's
cool.
If
there's anybody that's got a suitcase of like $1 million laying around.
Hey, John Strand, you're right, but he also did a infomercial for Duet.
David Olson.
I don't know. I have a. Go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
David Olson was in here at the beginning. I don't know if he's still here or not, but he was in Kansas City, and our schedules did not line up. But I'm totally going to catch up with him at Earth. I'm sorry that I missed him while he was here.
Carl Schumann said, "Got you covered, Glenn." Just bring it to Earth.
Right.
Yeah, which speaking of owners of Ender 3 boards, if you're coming to Earth, you stand a chance to win an Ender 3 courtesy of Fun in the Country Basement.
And there's like an 80% chance that the board in that box will work. So you're in good shape, man.
Hey, 79.95.
Don't be dissing on the stuff we're giving away.
I knock on wood, though. I honestly, out of all the Crowley stuff that I've had very, very few issues. This was the first time that I've ever lost a driver on one of their boards.
I've only ever had one bad Creality board, and that's because that's the one I won in the crappiest print contest at Murph.
I have to knock on wood. The only thing that I've ever bought that did not work correctly out of the box was a MMU2 because the gears wouldn't go on the shaft. I had to hammer them on the shaft.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad deal all the way around.
It was. It really was. But that they took care of it, got it fixed.
Yep.
Shane said, "Oh wait, I can officially enter." Dude, there was nothing stopping you from entering before. we don't have limitations like, everybody qualifies. We didn't exclude anybody, did we? I mean, we don't care who wins it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter who you work
heck,
for.
I enter every time. And I totally dropped the ball on getting people on board ahead of time. I guess I can still do that this week, but my plan was to reach out to people before we went for stamp stations, and I completely dropped the ball on that.
I'm sure we'll have time Friday.
Scott Latine is correct. A simple NAT plus DNS service can put your duet on the web.
It certainly can.
Sean Butler says, "I can't make it to Earth. Can I enter remotely?" Yes, but you must be present to win. We are not shipping anything. You're going to take it with you right when you win. So
just remember that if you're flying, you'll probably have to ship it yourself from Maryland.
Yes. Clint said, "Walter, don't order a mixer. I'll send you one." That's a hard offer to pass up.
It is. That's an impossible order to pass up. Brother, just let me know when you mail it, because that was my plan. As soon as I got back from Earth, I was going to look at my funds, and if I had an extra $40 or $50, I was buying a mixer. I don't care if it was 2 channels. I don't need but one.
Sean Butler said, "Can James enter twice for me?" Sure. And it's just up between you and James to figure out who actually won. Tony's going to he's going to have a display and said he'll be a stamp station. I can't say yes or no on that because we don't want anybody to know where the stamp stations are.
Oh, that's true.
Has to be a secret.
Man, I really hope this slice timer is wrong.
Slice timer is always wrong.
Well, on the Prusa slicer, it says 6 hours and 13 minutes and 43 seconds. On the Duet panel do back there, it says 29 hours and some change.
Clint says it'll have enough channels. Oh, that's scary.
It probably weighs like 300 pounds.
Sitting there with this big like 80 channel mixing board in front of him.
Hey, I tell you what, too, that would be my desk too. I'd be like, I can't work on printers no more. I can't figure out what button to push to get the printer on my table.
Pretty sure this button sends me back in time.
This one activates the Stargate. There's your square, by the way.
I think that should be a square. Anytime we go, that's a square. That should be a square.
Well, look, there's a square right there.
Sergio, we're going to do the giveaway. We're not sure yet. I don't think we've decided, what prizes are going on what day, but we're going to do it the same way. We're going to give you an index card, and you're going to take that index card to X number of stamping stations around the show, which you have to go and find like a scavenger hunt, and you will ask them to stamp your card. They'll put the stamp on it. You'll bring it back to us when we confirm that you have all of X number of stamps. I don't know how many yet because it depends on how many people we get on board. We will then give you a ticket. Half that ticket goes into the bucket. You keep the other half. At a predetermined time, we will have a raffle where we will draw out the ticket and give away the prizes, which at this point is a pretty good list of prizes. We have the Ender 3. We have 12 rolls of AIO Robotics filament. We have a 310 by 310 Wham Bam system, courtesy of Martin at 3DP Iceland, which I did see him in here a little bit ago. I don't know if he's still here. We have a nozzle from Slice Engineering, which is the what nozzle?
It's the vanadium, I think. Isn't there a vanadium nozzle they have?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of them weird words I've never heard of. And,
right.
And then some filament from IC3D, and quite possibly a pallet too.
Quite possibly.
We only say that because we haven't heard lately, but they have promised us one. So
yeah.
But see, here's the thing, Sergio. You asked Glenn how we were going to announce how to enter, but what you don't know is that when the giveaway is getting close, Glenn's going to streak through the auditorium.
Right, and whoever can stamp me on the butt.
You win the automatic prize. If you can still see to get to the booth. How did that song go? Blinded by the light.
Oh, I thought you were going to sing The Street.
No, don't look, Ethel. But it was too late.
Chris Riley, make sure Glenn probably shakes the tickets this time and not just shuffles them around so they stay in order. I shook them just fine.
I need Hamrock Larry said, "Don't test me, I'll do it."
Shane said, "Glenn, if you do that, stay away from the FDL shooting range."
Bullseye.
It'd be like the ducks on the little thing. Ping, ping.
Tom Lama said, "Now we got to find Glenn a skin-colored onesie so he can streak, sorta."
Sergio said, "If you're going to streak, he's staying home."
Oh, good time.
Graybeard asked, "Will there be a way for people tied to a booth all weekend to get a ticket?" Yeah, I'm going to get a ticket, so I'll be tied to a booth all weekend.
No, you gotta do the scavenger hunt. You gotta do it because it's not fair to anybody else if we just give you a ticket. I mean, unless you bribe us with free filament or we're completely open to bribes, but on the other hand, can it run Friday? Well, no, because there's no people in there on Friday. So we're going to do some of them on Saturday and some of them on Sunday was the plan. And you do have to be present to win, and you do have to take the prizes with you when you win. Like, otherwise you forfeit and I get to keep it all.
Well, I did want to tell everybody that I can't wait to see everybody, and I think it's going to be a fantastic time. And it's the first time that I guess Glenn, myself, not Chris Riley. Chris Riley never brings anything, but he buys 10 printers when he leaves there, and he takes them home with him.
I'm gonna try to not buy anything this time. I swear.
Are you?
I'm gonna try.
Are you not gonna buy another Mark III?
I won't buy another Mark III, but printed solid is really close. So
I will tell you this: I talked to the head of our engineering department at our high school, and they have, and I forgot what he said the name of it was, but it's got a 100 by 100 build volume 3D printer, and I am going to see if anybody, because they can't afford to buy another one. I talked to the superintendent of schools. It's just not in the budget. So I'm gonna see if anybody wants to donate one to my high school, because I can't afford to buy one.
If we can work out some shipping, I mean, I can make that happen.
Well, we'll talk about it. It's something I wanted to talk about, because I was very upset when I heard that that's what they had, because all the teachers had to go and take a summer course on 3D printing, right? And then they get back and they have this 100 by 100 3D printer, and it's the only one in any of the schools. We've got 3 elementaries, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school, and there's one 100 by 100 3D printer amongst them. And I was like, that's just ridiculous. We have a class that teaches engineering, and they don't have a 3D printer.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
I think I gave Martin a little bit of a panic attack. He thought that, like, I ordered this to give away, but this isn't the actual one we're giving away. This is mine. Martin has the one we're giving away. It's in Iceland. And if you win it, you got to make Martin sign it for you.
Right? That's right.
Stuff without signing it.
And guys, we will talk about it. I mean, it's just one of those things I need to get done. When I talked to him the other day, it just made me sad that they didn't have that.
Yeah. So, no, there's no word on the Pro Mega yet, Steven. I still got to work on that. And worth getting the Trilabs Prusa Mark III clone. I don't know anything about that one, honestly. Ron, the Happy Extruder, might have some answers for you, but that's the only person that I would know of.
Did he get one? The Trilabs one?
I don't know if that's conclusive or not, but I heard maybe he was thinking about one.
Right.
Well, Walter, I could reach out to my rep at GearBest and see if they would be willing to send a printer to your high school, and they would absolutely say yes. And then at the last minute, they would back out on the deal.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to throw them under the bus. I guess I just did, didn't I?
3D Jimmy, is Chris Riley going to stand for the entire Earth Weekend? Probably.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No way. As cool as our booth is going to be? No, we're all going to be sitting down.
Well, and we're going to be streaming from the Fun in the Country Basement booth. So if you come up, you are going to be on Fun in the Country Basement. I don't care who you are. There are no waivers. I am announcing right now, if you walk up and you talk to us, you're on camera.
That's right.
So now's your chance. If you ever wanted to be on Fun in the Country Basement,
now is your chance. Oh, and I'm going to make that happen. I am going to go to Chris's basement. We're going to work on a video together, and we're not going to tell a soul until he just releases a video.
I am going to make it to Florida at some point. So, I mean, it's going to happen.
Hey, come down here and help me finish this damn Stargate.
I got to come down when there's no projects in flight.
I hear you.
Shane said to get those foam pads they sell at Home Depot, Lowe's, which actually you get them from Harbor Freight way cheaper. That's what I use. That's what I use at the maker fairs and stuff, because it does help a lot for your back for standing. But I priced it out, and it would have been like $50 to cover our hole. But I think we got a better idea as long as we can pull it off. So you guys are going to love our booth. And I think, Walter, I think you were about to say, and then got sidetracked, that, because you got into Chris buying printers, but that none of us are bringing a printer to display.
That's correct. None of us are really bringing any project, right? Matter of fact, I may bring like a handful of maker coins, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm not maker coins and stickers, but
I'll have no stickers. I didn't get any more stickers.
I think we are the project.
Yeah, I got no more stickers because I just couldn't fund stickers this year.
Yeah.
So, but I do have a ton of maker coins I can bring. It just, when I'm flying, I worry a bit more about weight than when I'm not. If I was driving, Have no problem with that. But I've already got to figure out what I'm going to tell them when they x-ray my bag, and this is in it.
Yeah.
And all the wires that go with cameras and, the tripod and all that's in my carry-on bag.
Hey, Shane, you do know that Harbor Freight's hand tools are lifetime guarantee. Just take them back and get another set.
Jim Maddox, I am vaping my own concoction. I make my own juice at home, so.
3D Jimmy wants to know if Chris Riley's going to be handing out cheese and crackers at Earth.
Not this time.
Dude, that would have been awesome if we could have got that thing there.
Shane, if we were talking about personal weight, I wouldn't really be worried about it because I've been on planes with people that are 3 times my size. And I'm a big old guy, but I've seen people that weigh a good 500 pounds on a plane, and that's ridiculous.
Oh, they got to get places too.
I know, but I talked to a man. And I think he actually said he weighed 445 or something like that, and he had to pay for 2 seats on the plane.
Yeah.
So have Chris speed assemble an MK3S for the Prusa booth.
Nobody wanted after I got done.
Right? No, Marcin, I haven't.
I did assemble the Ender 3 at Murph, but I think the Earth Ender 3 is going to stay in the box.
Yeah, I think we'll just give it away like this. Because didn't that guy have to take it back apart to take it home? Wasn't he on like a bicycle or something?
Probably. I don't remember.
Do we know who that was? I mean, has that guy ever reached out to any of us? Or
no, I haven't talked to him since.
I hate giving stuff away to people we don't know.
Chris and Glenn, I started telling y'all right before the show started that at after Earth on Saturday by 8 o'clock, actually right before 8 o'clock, I need to be in the hotel room.
Okay.
From 8 to 11-ish, 8 to 10:30-ish.
I get it.
Yeah, no, the Gators play LSU next week, and after our game yesterday, it's important.
Yeah. Okay.
But now I do have my cell phone with me, so I can watch the game 100% from anywhere. It's just that my outbursts at some of the dumb bonehead stuff we had yesterday in our game probably wouldn't go over well in a public place.
I didn't get to watch it, but I heard it was pretty dirty.
Well, there was 4 turnovers on each side, so I mean it balanced out that way. But yeah, no, it was ugly.
Yeah.
Jim said there in New York they can't vape flavors anymore, and that's technically true. You cannot buy mixed vape flavors in New York anymore. But yes, you can still vape flavors in New York. You just can't buy them pre-mixed. You have to make them yourself. Because the flavors that go in these are used in baking and candy making, and those have not been outlawed. So I don't know how they say you can't vape flavors anymore. But anyway, this ain't a vaping channel.
Well, I was just thinking that was kind of going political. So,
oh no, I'm not worried about politics. It people pass laws all the time. Jim Maddox said, "Hi, my name is Jim. You know me now."
Yeah, because I said I didn't like giving away stuff to people we didn't know.
I got you. Oh, and Matt said the ban is postponed. Isogen said, "What's everyone's favorite alcoholic beverage?" Well, Glenn's is air. Mine is water, and Chris's is slow gin and orange juice.
My fave. That sounds absolutely horrendous.
Dude, my parents used to drink slow gin and orange juice when I was younger.
Oh.
Have you never had slow gin and orange juice?
No.
No, I have not.
Well, Glenn, you ain't ever drank anything, so shut up. Now, if I had an alcohol of choice, it would be Yuengling beer, just straight up Yuengling lager. Every now and again, I'll jump over to a Yuengling Black and Tan just because I'm feeling frisky. But other than that, no, I'm that's pretty much it. But water is my main drink of choice.
I've been known to drink a beer or two.
There you go.
I drink quite a bit of Coke Zero. No, not sponsored. But I'm open to negotiation, Coke. I also enjoy a cherry Sprite Zero, though they stopped selling it in bottles down here. Now I can only get it out of the freestyle fountain.
Thing is, I could put some slow gin in your cherry that you'd never know it, because that stuff is so sweet and it's red. So you just put a few drops in there and be tinted red and like cherry Sprite or something.
Yeah, but if it even remotely smells of alcohol, I'd know it's in there.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just smells just like sugar. It's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like I can't even use mouthwash that has alcohol in it. I can't stand the smell of it.
No, and Michael Cassell says, yeah, Yingling, go to Pottsville. And the thing is, since Chris and I are getting there, pretty early on Thursday, we could actually go to the Yingling factory.
Ooh, beer factory.
And I could do beer tastings because Chris is a designated driver.
I got to watch this right here.
Walter slips Glenn and Mickey. There's a trend in the chat today of people misspelling my name, and I know that they're doing it on purpose, so that I'll say that Glenn is spelled with two N's.
Which you just did.
And there's a square.
There's a square. Elf Pimp says 75-year-old Scotch whiskey single malt, not that blended garbage. Okay, 007, whatever you say. You like that shaken, not stirred? I mean, I'm not. No, I think that was a martini, wasn't it? Wasn't that Bond's drink was a martini?
Yes.
No, I'm. If I'm gonna drink whiskey or whatever, I want like Maker's Mark over at Rocks or something like that to sit down and just sip on. But I better have a rocking chair and a front porch to be sitting on.
Glenn Hogue said no, it isn't, because his is only spelled with one N, but I spell it properly with two N's, not like some serial killer.
Yeah, PC got you at the bottom. I like that one at the bottom.
Like some serial killer.
He won't spell it wrong. Will Glenn and Chris survive a weekend with Walter? Well, the cool thing is Glenn gets to go and spend the night with his wife. Chris actually has to sleep in a room with me. Mm-hmm. He said he doesn't sleep anyway, so I mean, there's no problem.
And Walter's eating burritos all the way there.
Right.
Of course,
yeah, it's free taco night.
Uncle
right?
Ron's bringing me a crave case from White Castle, so I won't be much better.
The thing about it is, I think I'm going to start like Tuesday night going to Taco Bell every day at lunchtime. And I'm going to get like just that 12-pack of bean burritos.
That was fantastic.
Glenn Hogue said, gee, thanks, Glenn. that line actually came from that show, Superstore. The manager, well, the former manager of the store's name is Glenn, and they got a robot whose name was Glenn, and he's like, well, they didn't even spell it right. They only spelled it with one N, like a serial killer.
So if you're staying around Earth in one of the hotels and you see somebody sleeping in the hallway, that's me. Just step over me, keep on walking.
There's like a green cloud rolling out from under the door.
Mad Mike said Chris will slip Walter Beano.
And then there'll be no gas.
Right, yeah, right. I think it gives me more gas. It makes it more forceful.
Two walk in, one walks out. Tom said every time I say, here's your square, I keep hearing building walls. Here's your sign.
Here's your sign. I think that's Chris's favorite comedian.
Billy.
I know he's got to say that a lot with some of the questions he's got. Of course, he's writing emails back like, no, you should really do it this way. And then at the end of it, I know he has to stop himself from saying, here's your sign. That's pretty much every one of our conversations. Sergio got an extra gas mask. Should he bring it?
Yingling is teaming up with Hershey to make chocolate beer. Oh,
That don't even sound right.
but it won't power on. What kind of printer you got there, CFS? What style is it? What style is it? What board you got? And then I can go from there.
What you're answering Shane's question about a printer not powering on?
That's Shane, formerly of Prussia.
Formerly of Prusa.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I think he was waiting for a here's your sign. Check, make sure that it's plugged in. Oh, and it may not be because we all watched him build the MK3 and he worked for Prusa, remember? And it took him like 28 hours or something like that to build a 6-hour kit.
Sorry, Shane. I don't know things.
Inside the mind of Matt says he's out of here and he'll see us in a few days. Bye, Matt.
Later, Matt. We'll see you there, buddy.
Matt,
No, and Shane. Oh, yeah. Shane said, nope, that was it when I said it wasn't plugged in. Oh, it was his day off and I thought you'd quit your job.
No,
I thought you quit working.
That day was his day off.
Oh, that day was his day off. Oh, I got you.
Yeah. And he was paying attention to chats. That's the story that he's sticking with.
That's right. That's what I still say that. I've been at my job for 13 years, and when something goes wrong, I always say, it's my first day.
No, I'm pretty sure Graybeard had it right. Check the voltage selector on the PSU. Because a lot of them do come set at 220.
Well, and here in the U.S., if it's set for 220 and you plug it in, you'll be okay. If you live overseas and it's set to 110 and you plug it in, you're done.
True, but you wouldn't have any power, is what I meant.
Right?
You know?
No, it would. Well, you might get something, but it'll be really wacky new.
You'd have some weirdness.
I didn't know it. What's his name? I can't ever remember people's names.
You're Walter.
I am. Mama reminded me of that. Let me tell y'all what I did today. It was funny. I told you we had homecoming. Well, my mom went to church there as well. She doesn't go to church anymore, but she came and she leaned up against some car, right? And she got some dust on her black pants that she was wearing. And my brother walked up and he's like, Mama, you got some dust on your pants. I said, no, Sean, that's her skin flaking off. She's getting that old.
Oh, wow.
My mom's
coming from you. Your mom must be really old.
My mom's how much? She's 64. She had me when she was 17 years old. Shortly after she turned, June, July, August, September, 4 months after she turned 17, she had me. So she is 64 years old.
Isogen, I could have an Ender 5, maybe, possibly, somewhere.
And that's how Walter got his butt beat in the church lot.
This Bondtech has the brass gear on it, and it lines up just a little bit different than the stainless one does.
Treaty Jimmy said, "Oh my God, I turned 63 in 20 days. I'm old enough to be Walter's dad."
There's a new cartoon on on Fox. Have y'all seen that? I forgot the name of it, but I've seen it advertised, and I was like, I need to watch that because that reminds me of here.
Oh, yeah. It's like a bunch of redneck people.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we call that the Walter cartoon here in this house.
Yes, sir, Jay Griffiths. I am 47. I turned 47 in September, and Glenn will get there in December. Chris will get there in about 40 years.
Yep. David, you're going to have to make that decision for yourself. I say yes, but it's completely up to you.
Somebody asked me a while ago, did I shave my head? No, I did not. I gave myself a high and tight like I always do. I got tired of it getting in my way when I was putting my glasses and stuff on.
Yeah, if I get up in the morning and it looks like I need to do something with my hair, then it's time to cut it again.
Right. When I took my hat off and it was like this rat's nest on top, I was like, nope, that's enough of that. Robert Spangle said he's late to the party. What are you building, Chris Riley?
I am putting a Bondtech extruder on this Wenhow D6 or Monoprice Maker Ultimate or whatever they like to call it.
Scott Latine says 50 is the new 40. Yeah, only to somebody in their 40s. That's like 40 being the new 30 when somebody's 35. Hey, 3D Jimmy, I did that one year. Split my beard. It was orange and blue right down the middle.
Break out the Flowbee. I need a haircut. Man, I'd like to have a Flowbee.
I would not.
I don't let my hair get long enough to even use that, but
I begged my mother whenever those came out, the first infomercial for those came out, I was like, Mama, don't you ever buy one of those. Don't you ever.
What are these things called? Haircuts?
Well, you got to be in a room with me for 5 days. I can get really drunk. We can find out. I bet I would lose a friend for life.
that could be a great prank. You get a fake ponytail.
That's not even funny.
Get a fake ponytail, wake him up and be like, I don't know what I did, man. Sergio said, what is hair, Glenn?
Nadav or however. Yep, you're right. Shane said we need community wellness checks for Chris.
Those of you that are traveling by yourself, if you could just sign up for a double bed room just in case. Let me know where you're going to be located.
Y'all laugh and y'all joke and all that. I am in bed normally by like 10 o'clock. I'm snoring by 10:30.
That's not shocking.
I mean, everybody's worried about Chris and all that. Chris stays up all night. I promise you, the only thing he's going to want to do is put a pillow over my face for snoring.
It's because he's terrified of sleeping with you in the room.
You don't have to worry about that because, dude, I die when I go to sleep. I'm dead to the world.
So I'm looking down this list of sponsors for Earth, and I noticed that Micro Swiss is on here as well. Have they ever been?
I don't think so.
They're always at Murph. I don't know about
they at Murph.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
I didn't think they had a booth at Murph though. I thought they shared it with like Bondtech or somebody and just had their products there.
They might have. I remember talking to some guys from Micro Swiss, but I don't know if they had their own table. They were over there by by the exit door. They were facing the exit door out the back, like towards the other building. They were over there last year.
This year?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't remember seeing them. Of course, I don't remember much from Murph at all this year. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's a couple of people on here that's, who's this rep cord, our 3P cord guy?
He's got a really weird last name.
Yeah, it never comes to any of our live streams. We should invite him to be a guest one time.
That's not true. He came to mine.
No, I mean the
birthday.
The FKB one.
Oh, that's true.
And then I'm curious on this 15 through 17, it's just listed as makers with an exclamation point. I don't. Is that the Friday night 3D printing makers?
They're listed on another square.
Are they?
Yep.
I tell you what, I think this is going to turn out pretty good.
And then who's this Graybeard?
I know. And the thing is, there's this dude in our chat called Graybeard, too.
Weird.
I know. Oh, look. It's the rare appearance of Miss Priscilla.
That's a square.
Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Oh, you.
Yeah, Michael Cassell's got it right. The memory is the second thing to go. I can't remember what the first is.
Yeah, but you're right, Chris. I mean, there's quite a few companies on here that I don't recognize.
Yeah. I'm not sure who some of these folks are, but I'm going to find out.
Is Coco Press? Do they print chocolate?
Yeah, that's the chocolate benchy people.
Oh, that's the one with the syringe.
Yes, I believe so.
I want to be able to print chocolate. My wife said that sounds good. Just put your mouth right on the nozzle. I'm just excited because I'm excited that we're booth number 1, which is awesome because we are number 1. And then the fact that we have the Andrews from 3D Gloop right next to us, and then Slice Engineering just across the way.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, Slice Engineering has no idea what they're getting into.
As far as what?
Because I'm going to be there.
Okay.
And I like aggravating Dan.
Oh. And then right across from us, like right straight across at table A, is Piper 3D Printer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that the guy that makes the printer?
That's the guy that makes the paper.
Yeah. Is it the one that's made out of conduit pipe?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked to him at Murph, and again, I'm bad with names, so but yeah, he's a good guy. I enjoyed talking to him. So we're not really by strangers, that's for sure.
I really want to see that Core XY UVAB in person.
Yeah, that's a monster.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Go watch Tom Sandlater's video, dude. It's worth the watch just for that printer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what is it? What was it, like 12 kilograms of stepper motors or something like that? It was ridiculous, man.
He had the Duet 3 complete, like it was almost maxed out, and he had one additional on the end of it or something. It was something crazy.
Yeah.
Steven Hooper's rubbing it in. He says this is going to be his first ERF. I can't tell you how happy I was when I found out it's actually in my town. I wish it was in my town.
Stephen Hooper, I wish it was even relatively close to my town.
20-hour drive is going to suck, but
yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing that, dude. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like people at all. So I hate flying a lot.
You're
but
an introvert.
I know, but it's so much better than driving.
I feel sorry for whoever sits next to you on the plane, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, because you're not going to be talkative at all, and then they're bored.
I'm gonna go in like black face paint with like white lips and white eyeliner. That's why I'm going to show up at the airport and meet Chris when he gets off his plane. And I'm going to have a big sign that says, Chris, baby.
Dude, you should get like a limo driver suit with the little hat and everything.
You should at least have the hat and a sign. I'd feel like I was actually important if that happened.
How about if I'm just there in just a hat with a sign?
Man, you're not making this any better.
Chris is going to be so scared to show up at Earth. He's going to be like, dude, I just look. You can have the car and the hotel. I'm not coming. That's right. Mike got it right. I'm a shy and delicate wallflower. Go full insane clown posse outfit to pick up Chris. Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be in shorts and sandals when Chris gets off the plane. Unless it's gonna be like 20 degrees at Earth, because that first
weather's gonna
go
be.
ahead. What?
Has anybody checked what the weather's gonna be like?
No, I haven't.
I figured,
Joshua Clemens said TSA would give me an enhanced pat down. I would say, hold on, Chris would like this too.
I always get one, so.
Do you really?
I do. Every time I fly, I get patted down.
It's really funny. Something about my name or something comes up at our airport every time I am pulled aside for the extra screening every time when I leave Tallahassee Airport. Nowhere else, just Tallahassee Airport.
It looks like it's going to be 60s and 70s for the week. So.
Oh, sweet. Short weather.
That'll be nice.
Well, I will tell y'all that this year at Murph was a lot better than last year's Murph.
That is for sure.
Because last year's Murph, I froze my tail off.
Cold, yeah.
It was bitter cold.
Man, the wind was whipping through there.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Standing outside in the weather waiting on tacos.
I will tell you, anybody that lives in the northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri area, y'all are getting some rain right now, and keeping y'all in my prayers because there's some massive flooding going on right now in northwest Arkansas. I've got several friends up there. They've got water coming in their house.
Wow.
Chris, are y'all seeing any of that in Kansas City?
No.
Any of that rain?
We've been getting quite a bit of rain, but we've seen it kind of up a little further north, a little northwest. That's getting pretty bad up in there, but we've been okay in this area.
Yeah, no, the northwest Arkansas was getting hammered. They were on Facebook earlier talking about not being able to get out of their houses because of water surrounding them.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, Carl, it was still cold at Murph this year, but it was not near what it was last year, bud. And I know you went last year, and y'all weren't in the camper last year, but dear Lord of mercy, it was just bitter cold.
Yeah, it was wet.
18 was kind of miserable outside.
Yeah. Robert Spangle said, okay, guys, what's the coolest thing you've printed? I'm starting the Saturn V rocket lamp. I actually just started a printer. Let me share my screen. You can see what I just started.
This Lego minifigure toilet paper holder that Lego doesn't want me to share with you guys anymore.
All right. Chris, you have to add my screen. I can't do it.
Me do.
Or you don't have to.
There you go.
That's what I'm printing right now.
What is it?
It's Christ carrying the cross.
I think Paul Cumber printed me one of those one time.
Well, I printed one for one of my cousins. For a housewarming gift. But this morning when we went to homecoming, my other cousin is in a band. They have a CD and all that. They're called Highway 316. You can look them up if you like Christian music. But their logo on their hats is this image. And I'm like, dude, I can 3D print you one of those to set on your table when you set your stuff up.
Cool.
And he's like, sweet. So I've got it printing back here right now. Mr. Buttram said he's going to be parked by Carl at Murph 2020. Well, Ryan, maybe you can go in and warm him up if he gets cold. Take him some bourbon.
The toilet paper holder is actually still on Thingiverse. Knock on wood. I hope Lego's not listening, but I didn't get a removal notice.
Right?
And it is labeled Lego minifigure toilet paper holder. It's not mine, by the way. I didn't design it. I remixed it to handle American-sized toilet paper rolls, not them little sissy European ones.
It could, Scott Latine. You're correct. It could fit right next to that. What? I can't read that. Chris, you might want to delete that. I don't know what that is in reference to. I don't have the chat open, so I can't do anything with it.
What are we talking about here?
Sasuke Uchiha? What is that? Read that. I can't even make heads or tails of that.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carl said they didn't send notices. They just took the stuff down. They sent notices to the sites, and the sites took them down. But they listed specifically what models needed to go. So
I was kind of sad to hear that that Project FDL wasn't going to be able to source those parts. But if Jason from LDO can put it together, that's going to be sweet.
Yeah, that is terrible news. I mean, I don't know, because it's on my list of stuff to make, and then all of a sudden the parts aren't available. And I mean, I guess it's all open source that you can get them yourself, but a kit is so much easier. You guys see what Martin said? I'm not reading it out loud, but
your kids would annihilate each other with those things.
I know, right?
That'd be awesome.
I don't know, I'm reading chat.
Stephen Lightspeed said there has to be more to the story than parts. Not necessarily. I mean, if they're getting a regular influx of orders and they can't get the parts, you just can't. You can't do it. Plus, I mean, stuff like that. Back when I made shirts, like I was a functional shirt company when I shut down. Like I just ended it, and it wasn't because I wasn't getting enough business. It was because I didn't have time for the business I was getting. So it's very possible that it's a part availability issue. So,
well, I really go ahead, Chris.
No, when you order like that too, I mean, the amount of bulk that you would have to order to make it cost effective, there's a tipping point there, and maybe that's just where they were.
Yeah, right. Couldn't get the volume of parts.
Right.
Well, and the thing about it is, I went to, and I talked to Chris about this. I went to look because I was like, you know what, that would be cool to print and take to Earth, because that's what everybody's doing. I couldn't afford the kit.
No, $259 is pretty chunky, and I couldn't make just one. I was going to build two.
Right, there you go. Right,
but
I mean, I understand that. I think the one is a custom board, though.
I don't know.
So,
it's all open source, but Steven said, but you back order, right? You don't roll the doors closed. And again, not necessarily, because if it doesn't look like you'll be able to get the parts in a relatively normal amount of time, then all you're doing is upsetting your customers anyway. So
yeah, but Prusa made it through that.
Yeah, but
I mean, you ordered a Prusa and you were on a 3-4 month waiting list immediately.
Yeah, 9 weeks to get mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Scott is.
I mean, it can be done. I get it. I understand what they're saying, but when you look at the math and you sit down and you do it as a company, you have to say, is this going to work for me?
That's funny, Scott. Great pate, guys, but I got a motor. Thanks for being here, Scott. Appreciate it. See you in a few days.
Hey, Scott, I'm bringing some pate. to Earth, I will put it out on the table, and you can put some crackers if you like. Just don't worry about the feline picture on the front of the can. Okay. Later, Scott. Can't wait to see you at Earth, man. I was fixing to say, Sergio, that's messed up. He said my kid was going to take 2 to 3 weeks to ship out, and I ordered it 2 weeks ago.
So you're ordering your kids in the express lane then, because
I hear you. Man, your wife's got to be upset about that, going from nothing to having a kid in 2 to 3 weeks. He's got them speedy kids.
I can't remember. Something was said in the car the other night, and I said, "Oh, speaking of boys, what do you think about having a little brother or sister?" And they're both like, "No way, forget it."
Nerd Girls 3D Printing's in the house. Hello, everybody from the UK. Well, hello from Florida, for 2 of us anyway. The other one's in the almost smack dab in the middle of the country.
Absolutely.
How far are you from dead center?
Like 4 hours.
Like 4 hours from dead center. Yeah, but they don't grasp that, because you can go from one end of the UK to the other in 4 hours.
Right.
And Chris has barely made it across Kansas.
Yeah, we were talking about that when I was out on the East Coast. You know, the further you get to larger cities or the coast in general, you're no longer measuring things, in miles. It's time. So
right.
It only takes 45 minutes. Well, I went 6 miles.
Right. Exactly.
And when I say 4 hours in Kansas, that is flat out 80-mile-an-hour driving, no stops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's me though. When I sit here and go, okay, it's going to take me 12 hours to get from here to here, right?
Right.
I'm like, okay, I know about how far that is. That's great. But when it said 16 hours to Earth, I didn't know 4 hours of it was from Baltimore to Bel Air. Yeah.
And 4 hours of it is just getting out of the state of Florida.
Well, for you, yeah, not for me. I'm an hour and a half. It takes me an hour and a half to get out of state. Well, actually, no, you're right. 4.5 hours for me going to Earth.
Yeah, because you got to go all the way over to Jacksonville.
I have to go all the way over to Jacksonville to go up, and it's 3 hours from here to Jacksonville. But it takes me an hour just to get to the interstate. So, from here to Murph, it says 16 hours, and I'm pulling into Murph at 16 hours, and I've been in not one city for any more than 30 minutes, right? But I'm serious. That stretch from Baltimore to Bel Air took us almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I planned my route, and I'm not going to publicly tell you where I'm going to be, because I don't want anybody, setting up, roadside blocks or anything. But I planned my route away from the major cities, and it by Google standard, it added an hour and a half to my trip, but I know really it's going to save me 4 hours.
Right. Yeah, because of the cities you're going to skip.
I'm not going through Baltimore. I'm actually going way out. I'm going west and around and coming back in from the top. So,
Carl Schoenman, yes, that is. And Graybeard says it's not. I don't know what he's referring to. It's not. It took us almost 2 hours to go from Bel Air or Baltimore to Bel Air. Almost 2 hours.
Yeah, the traffic was horrendous.
We hit it right at rush hour traffic. It was ridiculous.
Somehow I ended up off of the interstate and going right dead through the heart of Baltimore, which was horrible. And so, hey, Glenn, what email can I get you at? Well, that'd be Glenn at funking3d.com. I think he's fishing me for a square. You can just go to funking3d.com and use the contact form.
Well, and Graybeard, you may be right. I don't know. I know that when we saw the sign that said Baltimore city limits or whatever, from there to Bel Air, it was 2 hours. I mean, it's right there. It was like an hour and 53 minutes or something like that. Tony Ryan says, okay, panic mode over. Guess I have to turn off the happy banner telling me I have been upgraded to be able to see the constraints menu. Okay. So they upgraded you and put a
Fusion 360?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike? Red light.
Everybody's complaining about this latest update on Fusion.
I have to say, it took me a minute to find a lot of things again after I got that update.
247 Hinky. Actually, Earth last year we drove our car. We didn't drive the truck. We drove the truck to Murph this year. But that was because I had plans to bring a printer home, but that printer never showed up. I'm going to let Chris do all the city driving so I can moon people while we're going by.
With your Fun in the Country basement sticker stuck to your butt cheek?
What do you mean sticker? I got a tattoo. You want to see? Hold on.
You got to remember, Walter's a company man. City driving is something I do a lot more than I like to.
I've got to do it tomorrow, and I'm dreading it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and it's not near nothing even remotely close to anything that I had on my way to Murph. I mean Earth, not Murph, because I've had zero traffic issues on the way to Murph, zero. But yeah. Earth, yeah, no, there's absolutely. You could pay me $1 million a year, I would not live in that area and have to drive in that every day. Nope.
No. Well, it's DC. I mean,
yeah, I mean DC, Baltimore, all that area, and I would even go. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, BWI out to Earth is not that bad actually. It's. I mean, you run into a little bit right there, but it's pretty easy.
Well, and then plane tickets flying into Washington was like significantly cheaper than flying into Baltimore. But there was just no way I was going to do it.
Yeah. I stay away from DC if at all possible.
Wait, hold on. I make sure I'm coming into the right airport.
Oh, that'd be bad.
What?
Let me see.
Seattle, Washington, what?
You said BWI, right? BWI, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm
That's the right
Washington.
We're gonna start.
No, I had to write Washington, right?
Graybeard said timing to skip rush hour. I don't think that's possible in that area. I think rush hour is always. I forget what time we hit the DC area going to Earth last year, but it was still
yeah. Well, and the problem is when you're at the end of a 16-hour trip, you can try to time it, but it's kind of difficult because like construction and stuff going up 95 or wasn't it 95?
Yeah. Well, and then it's like you have to like, yeah, you could time it to avoid, Baltimore at rush hour, but then you're hitting something else at rush hour.
Right.
It's like there's just no way to time it without stopping or whatever that you're going to miss every major city. But driving up last year, it was like from the moment we hit Virginia, that it was over. It was just the way, and if any of you guys live in Virginia, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. People in Virginia don't know how to drive. They don't watch. They don't watch the car ahead of the car ahead of them. So all of a sudden, this car jams on its brakes, and then they jam on their brakes, in Florida, because of the rains and stuff, we get used to watching 2 or 3 cars ahead. And when that guy begins to brake, we begin to brake.
Right.
So it's not all of this, like, they're just like, and I was just like losing it.
My wife asks me all the time, I'm like, that person doesn't live in Florida. And she's like, how do you know? I said, watch them drive. Watch them.
3D said 100% they do not.
And not only that, it aggravates me to no end. People turn their hazards on while it's raining.
Oh.
Dude, if you have an emergency where you need your flashers on, pull over. Call for help.
Yeah, what people don't realize when they turn their hazards on during the rain and stuff, like mainly if you don't have separate blinkers from your brake lights, it looks like you're applying your brakes, letting off, applying your brakes,
Yep.
No, but I was so happy when Florida started putting up on those banners over the highway and stuff, headlights on headlights on, flashers off during rain.
Yeah, and the thing is though, you still see flashers on. You can go under that sign and somebody's got their flashers on.
Yeah. Don't drive in Jersey, they don't even look. Well, that's better than jamming on the brakes all the time. No, I still have to go through Virginia, but we're like we'll probably be driving through the mountains based on the path that I've chosen. So, and it's telling me it's 1,003 miles, 15 hours, 11 minutes. So, and of course that's no stopping for fuel, food, or potty breaks. So it'll probably be closer to 20 hours, but you people are all worth it. I'm coming to see you guys.
We're on Chris's channel, right?
Yeah.
All right. All you earphone wearers, here's your chance. Turn down your volume.
Yeah. I thought you were going to cut the cheese. Well, that's no. I'm playing with this Matter Hackers wrist, thing, the bracelet, the rubber bracelets, and I'm like doing it like a suction cup, but every once in a while it makes a good fart noise. I didn't know if that was coming across on the microphone.
Well, another thing a lot of people that aren't from Florida don't realize is that when you're going down the interstate at 70 miles an hour, normally by the time you hit the rain, it's already beginning to stop. I mean, unless you just get in one of those storms that's just like right along the interstate.
Following you, yeah.
Yeah, they're normally just going across and you'll be out of it by the time you decide to turn on your hazards or slow down either. And then you see these people, and I was talking to one guy at a store one time, and he was like, man, I love cruise control. I'm like, dude, it's raining. He goes, yeah, so? I'm like, you don't run with cruise control on when it's raining. He's like, why not? I'm like, never mind. Just, you'll figure it out one of these days.
I do it. But
yeah.
We have that adaptive cruise control in the car. Like it knows.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it knows if there's something up ahead of you.
No. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about it will launch you off the road. And I had this happen because I hydroplaned and my wheels were off the ground. Yeah, so they sped up. And when it hit the other side, it snatched the wheel off. That was the end of that.
Yeah, well, I also have all-wheel drive, so.
Yeah.
So 247 Hinky, he's talking about connecting a sensor to a RAMS board. I believe that sensor with that model number, I believe that's an inductive probe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wouldn't hook a gate up to it. I would just, so it depends. I don't know what model that sensor is. If it's a 6 to 36, you're going to have to, I would run it off of 12 volts or 24 volts. But if it's a 5-volt sensor, I would just plug it into the in-stop wires, power it with 5 volts there, and you should be all set. You shouldn't have to hook up anything else. John just laid down 5. That's much appreciated, John.
5 pound for you, sir.
Yeah. How much is the benchy in the window? Nice.
Honk, honk.
Which reminds me, I got to get some benchies together.
So it's funny how this.
I'm bringing
that back to 3D printing for some reason.
I'm bringing 2.
I'm bringing nuns. Not like
Nerd Girl.
I'm not
Nerd Girl asking what you're working on again, Chris.
Yeah, it's a I always forget Monoprice Maker Ultimate or a Wanhao Duplicator 6. It's I'm trying to do height simp, and I just got a Bondtech extruder put on here. It's capacitive 6 to 36. So I would make. I mean, you could do that a slew of different ways, but some sort of voltage divider, or I mean, you could hook up that 222 if you wanted. To run it, but I definitely wouldn't try to run it at 5 volts because they get real flaky. I buy them at 5 volts because of that, because they're so much easier to hook up. But yeah, I would definitely try to grab 12 or 24 to run that sensor.
No more car talk.
Need some filament. Here we go. You bet.
Hey, I have to say, my video stayed pretty clear all video, hadn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's been good. Freddie, somebody is actually 3D printing a Lamborghini. It's a father and son project. I'm trying to think where they are, but they're 3D printing a full-size Lamborghini.
Nice.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I saw that. I could have swore that popped up on my timeline.
I think it's been on the Twitters.
Oh, and if Clint's still here, Clint, you said you were going to send me a mixer. If you will, just wait before you send it, unless you're going to send it so it'll get here in the next 3 days. Wait to send it until like Friday, so it'll show up next week when I get back. So my wife doesn't go, oh, look what you bought. You told me we couldn't buy anything because you were going to Earth and blah, blah, blah.
Colorado. Colorado is where they're building that Lamborghini. There's a link to the... I don't know much. I haven't looked into it. I mean, it's running, so they've got it built on something.
Do you guys follow RC Life on Simon?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
He 3D printed himself. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'd like to 3D print myself and send myself to work so I don't have to go.
Yes.
I mean, I don't go, but,
Well, most days we'd probably get about the same amount accomplished.
Oh, Jesse Foreman came in and said the only thing printed on the Lambo is the gauge cluster. Oh.
If that's on an actual Lamborghini, okay. But this they 3D printed the whole body.
Clint responded and said he's in Sweden. It'll take some time to get to me.
Oh, and everything that you say and it goes through the mixer, it's going to come out with one of them funny Norwegian accents.
It will. I'll start talking funny. Well, the one question too is though, is it a 220 box or is it a 120 box? And is there a switch on it to switch between the two? And then if there is, what type of power cord is it? Because I'll have to get some type of adapter or something. Walter's mailing address is...
That was a movie. I don't know what you're talking about, but... Walter's mailing address is send him empty Amazon boxes.
Yeah.
It still costs you $10 to ship an empty box.
Right. And Jesse Foreman said, no, they didn't 3D print the body. Y'all might be looking at different videos. Graybeard says it most likely uses a DC power supply or a DC adapter.
Tony Ryan says it all right there. 220, 221, whatever it takes. Oh, a universal 90 to 240 volt standard computer power cord.
I'll figure it out.
Physicist and his son are 3D printing a Lamborghini I can't say that. Aventador.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be powered by a V8 engine taken from a Corvette. They 3D printed the whole entire body. You can see all the seams and stuff. I hope they're 3D glooping that together. Here's another link.
Did they say what they 3D printed it with? Like what plastic?
Well, Jesse, he says in the video, the dad says the only thing 3D printed is the gauge cluster. So they might have cut body panels and glued them together out of something else.
Well, pull up that link that I just posted.
I can't.
In the chat?
I don't know how.
Click it.
The thing is, if you look at the picture, there's layer lines in the panels. That right rear quarter panel piece right behind the tire, you can see the layer lines in the panel. So those panels are 3D printed.
Now I know what's wrong.
But they've been working on it 1.5 years for about 1 hour a day.
Well, that's not very motivated.
It's just to clear the printer and start another one.
Yeah, it says in the description, it says, with the exception of the chassis, transactional engine, and some of the other structural parts, the whole body was created using a 3D printer and 220 spools of thermoplastics. Even the headlights, taillights, air vents, and the other interior parts have been 3D printed, with most being encapsulated in carbon fiber or carbon fiber Kevlar.
Yeah, I mean, they better be 3D printing it, or I'm going to be really mad. Because everything I've read, it says that they're 3D printing a Lamborghini. I mean, if printing one part constitutes 3D printing a Lamborghini, then I also have 3D printed a Lamborghini.
What resin printer is a good budget printer do you recommend? What is it? The orange, longer 3D or whatever? Isn't that a decent?
The Elegoo Mars?
Well, the Elegoo Mars, the longer 3D. There's another one that's out there that's pretty cheap right now.
Experience with S-curve and junction deviation. I have a lot of experience with junction deviation. I haven't done a lot of testing on S-curve. So I don't know how far into this we want to go. So junction deviation was default in riprap, and then Marlin always used jerk for instantaneous motion. They work just a little bit differently, but as far as print quality goes, I can't find any difference in between the two. I've tried and tried. I've done dozens of tests. It all looks the same to me. So use one or the other. I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. I guess Jim is coming to Earth. Excellent. He's up north somewhere.
What he said.
Like Wisconsin or something.
Yeah, but I mean, even you though, Chris, if you drive for, just say, if you got in your car and you just decided to drive for 6 hours towards the East Coast, in 6 hours, how many states could you hit?
Well, in Kansas City, 2. I mean, you'd be in, I guess, depending on where you went, but I mean, you'd go, so you'd head through St. Louis and then go into Illinois, but I mean, I don't think you'd make it much past that.
You don't think you could?
Would you make it to Illinois in 6 hours? Yeah, I guess in 6 hours you would.
It's like 5. I want to say about 5 you can get to St. Louis. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've driven that, but Yeah, you would in 5 hours you wouldn't get very far. I can tell you this: it took me 13 hours. I only stopped once to drive from Dayton, Ohio, to Kansas City. That's the furthest I think.
But most of that trip's in Missouri, though, right?
Oh yes, a huge chunk of it is. Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this: once you hit Illinois, how what's the progression if you were going east? How fast would you get through other states?
So well, I mean, so you'd have to.
The middle of the country states are pretty big, most of them.
Right. But the problem is for me. I mean, I'd go through St. Louis and I'd just cut the tip off of Illinois, but then I'd have to go through all of Indiana, and then.
Yeah, but it's not very much of Indiana, like because it's
Indiana's not that wide though.
Well, and it's kind of pointy like this at the bottom, so you'd be clipping across that.
Well, it depends on where the interstate's at, though, right?
And then a long time through Kentucky.
Yeah,
but I think even the meat of the state across Indiana is only like 2 hours.
Well, I mean, it's not like driving Kansas or something, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, you just have to deal with Indiana and Ohio, and it all depends on which route you take. I used to come across there Cincinnati and Kentucky quite often.
Oh, see, I'm looking. You're talking about going from St. Louis like up to Indianapolis,
right? And you wouldn't go that way.
Went down through Louisville. Yeah, you would have a lot more Indiana if you went that way.
But like once you leave Georgia going north, you can bam, kicking out states. But like Glenn and I, in order to go north, well, not Glenn because he actually goes over the short part of Georgia.
Well, it depends.
But like if
I'm going,
what's that?
If I'm going up 95, then yeah, it's the short part of Georgia.
Yeah, but if you're going over to Atlanta, you're right. But if I leave my house like right now, it's almost 7 hours to the Tennessee line. Because it's straight up Georgia. Just straight up the entire length of Georgia.
Yeah.
You can't get from Florida unless you live like right on the western tip over by Pensacola. It takes you a while to get anywhere, man.
Oh, and heaven forbid if you're driving from, anywhere central Florida and south and going to like Pensacola.
Oh yeah, they're right.
In Florida.
Or even from like here, for me to go from here to Key West is like 12 and a half hours.
Yeah.
It's in the same state.
Yeah.
Go like Cannonball Run.
Yeah, right. And it's really funny though, because you go back to Smokey and the Bandit, right?
Yeah.
When they had to go to Texas and get beer and come back, they were in South Florida. People were like, "Oh, you left Florida and you went to Texas and you came back." That's not that hard. No, they were down around Miami. That's difficult.
Yeah, you're in Florida for a long, long time. But Texas is no better. Like when we took our big road trip back in 2007, we had to camp in Texas twice because that state is so freaking big.
Hey, I will tell Michael Cassell, the PA suspension test is not anywhere close to South Carolina's. That was probably the worst stretch of interstate I have ever been on in my entire life.
Where's that?
In South Carolina.
Really? Driving up to Murph, like as we were heading to IC 3D, it was like we got into Tennessee, and the roads were getting bad. Kentucky, they were worse. Ohio, they were awful.
Yeah. And everybody's saying, try Texas from east to west, but Texas by itself is bigger than a lot of countries.
Yeah, well, that's how we went. We went across from way down south, like we came out of the panhandle there of Florida and went through the little tiny bit of Alabama and Louisiana there, and then all the way across Texas to New Mexico, and then hooked up into Colorado.
Well, and a lot of people don't get that, but like the UK, I think the UK will fit, or England or whatever you want to call it, will fit into Texas like 5 times. The entire country.
I wouldn't
doubt 4 times. It's ridiculously big.
The people that we have in this chat are just the best people in the whole world. Jim doesn't have any audio. So John is actually telling him what we're saying so that he knows what we're doing.
What's even better, though, is he says, I can't hear, so I figured it's probably either Walter is old or about food.
And Chris Riley hasn't moved since I got here. I think he's practicing the mannequin pose. Oh, wait, he moved now. And the thing is, I think Chris gets stuck because Glenn and I will get to talking, and Chris just sits there and goes, he's just listening. And he's not paying attention that he's not moving at all.
No. Well,
Wait.
oh, Walter.
This show is family friendly.
Hey, Chris, go back and edit it and blur over the.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, we used to have you completely blurred out, and then you figured out technology.
I know, right?
Can't wait to watch it back tomorrow. Yeah, well.
That's a square, isn't it? I thought that was a square. Walter giving somebody the finger.
I don't think I ended up putting that one in because I didn't want to encourage it to actually happen.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was a square. That's the only reason I did it.
Yeah, that's why you did it. Sure.
It is. I was trying to help somebody out with that elusive square that we never get on Fun in the Country Basement.
Are you talking about Walter? Xander said you're an idiot.
Who said that? Xander did?
He's over there laughing.
The thing about it is, and Bansalar said it, and this is true for my family as well, Bansalar. He said, apparently you don't know my family. That's family friendly. That's our greeting. Yeah. There you go. Edutech says, is Walter flips the camera off on the bingo?
No.
See, we thought it was. I thought it was. I really did. I thought it was on there.
I think it was in the original list, and then I opted to not put it in because I didn't want to encourage it to happen, and I didn't want people asking for it.
No, I get it, but I did. I thought it was in there.
Well, maybe if you played along once in a while, you'd know what the squares were.
Chris, do you have your bingo card up? Chris.
Huh?
Do you have your bingo card up?
No, I do not.
Me neither.
Jim said that we have subtitles. I didn't know we had subtitles.
I think they.
Oh, no. That was your Post-it note.
Oh.
That's right. I'm just enjoying the show like the rest of us. I just let you guys are the entertainment. I just stand here and watch.
We're going to have to put Babe Walter in the corner.
I'm still impressed by this bell, this resin bell. Oh.
I was going to say earlier, I don't remember what we were talking about, but that's why there's only 3 of us on this show, because I only have 2 fingers to blame 2 people. So
he can only go.
Yeah, that's right. We can't have a third because I can't blame them as well.
Carl Schumann said I-10 across Texas is greater than the distance from his house to Earth, and he lives in Michigan.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I can too. It's 13 hours from one side to the other. If you're following the speed limit, it's 13 and a half hours. Mad Mike said I only use 2 fingers too.
But I don't remember where I was. I think I was in Fort Worth or something. That somebody said, well, I drove up from Houston. And the whole time I was thinking, well, that's like 2 hours away. No, it's not. It's like 8 hours away.
Right.
That's a long way. I mean, it's about 3/4 the length of Georgia.
Yeah, that's way down there.
John Strand, I have the Creality LD001 resin printer. There are cheaper models right now that will do the same job. I can't tell you to buy it. It's a great printer, but it's $500, and you can get one that'll do the same job for what, $229 or something like that.
I just know everybody's saying good things about that Elegoo Mars. I know that Mark one, and he likes it.
Yeah, Joel did the orange, the longer 3D or whatever it was printer.
Well, he also now has the new Peel Poly.
Well, yeah, but won't be long here. Who was it? Somebody did a video teaching tech or something like not teaching tech, something electronics. Forgot his name. He did some more at the TCT show, and they actually had a metal printer that was printing filament, but it was actual metal filament. It was like metal wire filament. It wasn't like the stuff that.
So it's not sintering. What's
Right.
that?
It was crazy. It was pretty cool looking.
Huh.
John Strand, what's $1,800?
The new Peel Poly.
He's the Phenom. He's saving up for a Phenom.
Yeah.
Well, and I did learn something today when I watched the guy on Element 14 building that printer I told y'all about.
Right.
I didn't understand why the DLP model printers don't scale well. And it's because the model actually sticks to the FEP and pulls it up and stretches it. So the more surface area you have on that plastic, that film at the bottom, it degrades faster the bigger it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that.
Right. So the model actually sticks and pulls it up and it pops loose. Well, over time in a bigger area, it would just stretch further and further.
Yeah.
No, not the welding one. Imagination to Form said he watched that as well.
We're at time, but I'm going to answer John's question real quick. I haven't dug out the CTC. I have completed the Marlin upgrade on it. It's just a really big project. I had to do so much to it to get it to work, and it's going to be really hard to film. But I plan on getting to it soon, I hope.
247 Hinky asked, "Was that not a welder?" And I said, "No, it's not the welder. Sorry, I get that, but no, it's not."
Josh said, "Someone stall Chris. Walter and Glenn with 2 N's. I'm not home from getting the next core from Chris Lane yet because he streams right after we do, but he's not home yet." The problem is we can't run long because then Xander gets pushed. So,
all right, guys. Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
Hey, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D. I give people to
3D. Oh,
what's your beard on?
3D. We didn't have
Hold
any
on,
words tonight.
Wait, I'm Glenn from from Fun King 3D.
What are you holding back? You don't got much.
I'm trying to just show forehead because I can't hide my hair. You can find me everywhere at Fun King 3D or at Chris Riley 3D on the Twitters. And you'll be able to find all of us at Earth next week. We can't wait. I know I can't. I am excited.
You didn't make an
I'm
appearance.
excited to bring Chris his surprise. Hey, Xander.
No,
Wearing a print and play shirt.
I don't want the chance of getting the finger.
I would not do that. That's for your father to do. I mean, he can do it. I'm not.
All right, Glenn.
Go ahead, Glenn.
So we're doing this for real now?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, everybody. I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D, and I'm going to thank you for joining us like I do every week because it is so important that you are here, and we love each and every one of you. I didn't see anybody say that they won bingo, but if you played along, we appreciate it, and that bingo board is always there for you. There will not be a Fun in the Country Basement next week. At least not one like this, because we will be live at Earth. Yay! And we look forward to seeing each and every one of you. And before every live event, I have to say that if I seem standoffish in person, I am not. I'm introverted. It's the way it goes. You have to introduce yourself to me. I'm not going to seek you out. It's just not in my nature. But yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here. If you have not yet checked out Fun in the Country Basement or funcountrybasement.com, do so. There are subscribe buttons on there and a link at the very bottom to get the Fun in the Country Basement bingo card. I can be found everywhere at funking3d.com. I almost said funinthecountry.basement.com. Funking3d.com. My main choice of communication is the Twitter. Definitely find me there. If you contact me on Facebook, it may be a slow return. You will eventually get a reply. It'll just be slow.
Well, I do need to say this because 247 Hinky asked what time at Earth. We will be broadcasting the entire Earth. Not what time. If it's next Saturday and Sunday, we will be broadcasting from at least door open to door closed for the public. So there you go. Sorry about that, Glenn. I apologize. Didn't mean to interrupt.
All right. I was looking to see if I could see the times, but I don't know if they have the times listed. It's like 10 to 4 on Saturday. I think, I don't know, but it'll be Saturday and Sunday. You can't miss it. And if you guys come by the booth, you're going to end up being on the stream. So it'll be cool, but no, that's all I got. I'm good.
Excellent. Well, it's been another Sunday from the Country Basement, and it is, as everyone's already stated, next stop is Earth, and it will be fun in the Country Basement all weekend long. And as Glenn was saying, if you see me or at Earth, please run up, grab my hand, shake it as hard as you want, lean in, get a picture, whatever you would like to do. Just don't be standoffish. Don't be afraid to come up and say hey, because a lot of you know what I look like. I don't know what you look like, but I'm always glad to meet you. That's what I come for, because I want to see what everybody's working on and what everybody's been doing that isn't on YouTube. So it's going to be a great time. There's a lot of things that I want to see. There's a lot of stuff that I've never in the list of vendors that I've never seen. So that is going to be worth it right there. But it's going to be a long week. It's going to be hectic, but it's going to be worth it. So
I agree. Hey, Xander, I have to throw you down the stairs.
I was gonna say run up and give Chris a big old hug.
Yep, sure.
Tell him it's from me.
Come on in. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't even know how that started, but with the events, I end up being a hugger. So
if Glenn is standing there with a pained look on his face, don't worry. Go up and offer him some preparation H.
Oh, the only pain in the butt I have is you, Walter.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
And
no, wait. 247 Hinky said Walter's beard is not real, so pull it off. Yeah, let's not do that.
That's right. I made that beard for him. It's just like this one. You can just tug it right off there.
There you go. You tug his off, not mine. All right. Sorry, Chris. We're running you along.
Nope. That's it for the week. That's all I got. The usual things. I'm on YouTube's. I'm on the Twitters. Go look me up over there. And we will hopefully see a lot of you at Earth or on the stream. Well, I'll try to pop in and out of that as much as I can. So that's it for this week. We will see you all at Earth, hopefully.
Print on.